not only did you bring Ideal Protein into, talk to us a little bit about that whole bringing it into the clinic. Not only did you bring it into the clinic, but other pharmacies started to take notice, right?
Yeah. So with our success of it, and I'd given a few national presentations within PharmaSave and a little bit with Ideal Protein as well. This one was with the Calgary Drug Trends Summit, which is a Canada Health Benefits Summit, something like that. Basically, I think over 300 PharmaSaves, the last count I had heard, had brought Ideal Protein in as well. So
the Ideal Protein must love you. Oh my God.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, they've been great for me anyway. I mean, I've got to go to Quebec a couple of times. I visited Pharma Lab where they actually create all the products and the supplements and things, and have a tour around. It was amazing. And see just the high quality product that Ideal Protein is making that way. So that was really great. Yeah. But yeah, as far as in our clinic though, with the success of it that way, I mean, we've got, or I've been able to be featured in a lot of things where I get to get the word out there, because I think that's a big thing, is that people still somewhat just don't know that there's a lot of things we can do without having to use all the medications that we do dispense every day. And I think that's where some people go, well, you own a pharmacy, you're a pharmacist, don't you dispense medications? That's what you do. And I'm like,
that's
no,
exactly.
I've done that for 7 years.
That's where I'm going next. You know, it does seem to me to be a huge conflict of interest, you know, on the surface, right? Tell me too, you have to explain for those in other countries, you're actually a prescribing pharmacist.
Correct. So Alberta, so like the United States have states, we have the provinces across Canada. So within Alberta, we actually have the most expanded scope of practice you're going to find in the world anywhere. So I have prescribing rights, which means I can prescribe new therapy as long as I feel it's within my scope of practice and for what I feel comfortable with. If it's something that I don't feel comfortable with, or it's something I can't run a test for, yes, absolutely, I'm going to send them to their doctor. We're not taking the place of doctors by any means. Along with the prescribing, when I was looking at that part of it, because I was already doing Ideal Protein here now for 3.5 years at that point, I needed it to be able to de-prescribe the medications, because we see things go so quickly. So that was a big, yeah, it's been fabulous that way. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm here for, I feel like. So
well, and Sue, you and I talked about how that's such a personal thing for you, and how where you come from mentally, emotionally, when you are working with clients. They might have been freshly diagnosed, or they might have just been so chronic they feel like there's no chance for them to change their lives. But you like to give them hope.
Yes, that's the biggest thing. There's so many clients that come to us, and you know, whether they've been diabetic for 10 or 15 years and that's how they identify now, or it's a brand new person coming in going, you know, my doctor just said I'm pre-diabetic, or I am diabetic, and they have their first prescription for metformin or something. The look in their eyes where it's like, oh, I'm diabetic. Like, what do I do from here, kind of thing. Or the ones that have been for a while. I sit with them for a little bit and hear their story and talk to them, and then talk to them about how it's all becoming an insulin problem. So you start to talk with people and really learn with them. Most of my consults are about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. So there's a lot of discussion and figuring out what's going on with people. And by the time they're done, they leave and they just light up. Like, it gives me shivers to think about it, because there's been so many instances I can think of, and so many patients where they're like, I have never felt this positive about anything in my life, you know, to know that I don't have to be diabetic anymore, or I don't have to have high blood pressure or poke my finger every day anymore, you know, things like that, where they basically leave in tears of joy because they're so hopeful by the end. So yeah,
that's why we do what we do.
That's why we do it. Exactly. So if I can do that and help people, you know, there's always a place for medications. I'm not saying there isn't. Obviously, we own a pharmacy. That's a big part of it. But there's so much more that we can do. So that's where I feel like we can kind of scream from the rooftops and go, hey, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food, right? So,
you know, again, being known as the pharmacist who prescribes food as medicine, right? I think that's just an incredible persona, if you will.
Definitely. And that was actually the tagline I used for a Canadian pharmacist presentation I had done a couple of years ago. And basically compared the insulin and glucagon ratios in the body, and looking at why, when you're eating lots of carbs, what happens, and why are we getting sick? That's the big thing, right? So
yes, we're gonna get into that. Yep, we're gonna talk about that.